Good afternoon. It's just afternoon and it's a beautiful day in Ras Al Khaimah. Thank you for your time. Today I'm going to talk a bit about benchmarking, job benchmarking. Recruiters tend to look at eligibility for roles, but they very rarely look at suitability, and that's where PRISM and the benchmarking can come in to add a lot of value. The other thing we need to think about is ranking and rating. When we're ranking, we're putting in priority order of what is the most important and what is the least important. When we're rating, we're doing a different measurement, and we do need both. When we're doing the rating, we may be putting let's say we start off with the ranking of the behaviour. Innovating is the most important behaviour. And then we say evaluating is the second most important. So we might rate them the same, or we might rate, just because one's 1 and one's 2, we might not necessarily rate them the same. We might have them at the same rating, which is too much detail for today. Okay, the first step that we take is understanding and identifying precisely what the role requires for the post holder to be able to do it and have excellent performance. Okay, then we have to identify the key behavioural preferences, and then we look at the work aptitudes, and then we look at the core traits. So the 3 elements that we talked about in the video a couple of weeks ago. So the first thing we do is list the 5 things that the person must do to a high standard and to achieve performance excellence. So, for example, we might say a role for HR coordinator requires support, coordinating, delivering, finishing, and evaluating. What are likely key performance indicators for that role? Maybe the data collection and data entry, because otherwise garbage in, garbage out. Timely delivery of deliverables. And then what are the key interactions required from the post holder and others? All aspects of communication, face-to-face, verbal, virtual, and written. So that obviously indicates emotional intelligence, social intelligence, and cultural intelligence. Now, after we've done that, we take the 8 dimensions from the behavioural preferences, and we do step 1, the most important, step 2. Then we go to the least important, which is step 3. Then we have step 4. Then we go back up to step 5, which is the 3rd most important. So the 3 most important and the 2 least important are key to performance and delivery. And then we would rank them. All right? So after we've ranked them, and then we will rate them. We'll then look at the work aptitudes, and again, we will decide which is the most important. So for this, I will say social and empathetic, then investigative and analytical, then orderly and efficient, outgoing and expressive, creative and artistic, with the final number 8 being competitive and entrepreneurial for our role. The rating, social and empathetic, rating of 8. Investigative and analytical, 7. Orderly and efficient is 7 as well. Outgoing and expressive, 5. Just to give you an example for our recruitment coordinator. And when we look at the core traits, we're looking at relationship management, emotional stability, decisiveness, self-motivation, conscientiousness, and flexibility. So again, we take those, most important, down to the 6, which and then we rate them. And in this instance, we've got conscientiousness as the most important, rated at 6 out of in the rating. Second, self-motivation, rating of 5. Relationship management, rating of 5. Emotional stability, rating of 5. Flexibility, 3. Decisiveness, 2. So that gives you a small snapshot picture of benchmarking. Now, you can do it by yourself, but obviously that's not the most effective way of doing it. It's much better to be doing it in a focus group, along with experienced people who are seen as excellent, exceptional in the role, and maybe a line manager and possibly a stakeholder. It's a really, really valuable exercise. And then when you're doing the recruitment, you're looking at the PRISM inventory with the underlying map, and you can compare against the benchmark. So it makes it much easier to get someone who is suitable as well as eligible. All right. Okay. So thank you very much for your ears, and thank you, CRAFSPTOPT, for your support and patience with me. And I wish you all a good weekend, depending where you are in our world.